Hi, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. I know Thanksgiving Eve's still in the US. So, yeah. Yes, I wrote that down about the appeals court. Um, mm. Oh, the Trump apprentice outtakes will come to light. I don't think they're going to do much to hinder him. Come to light, hey? Hmm. I'm Eric Trump. Wow. He's been brought in. Hi, Catherine Stubbs. Hi, Michelle Mabel. Hi, Renee. Of course, Kristen from Uncover the News, of course. Does a sterling job with throwing these things up. That's great. Harry Trump. Haven't you? Hi, Ollie Ann. Hi. Yeah, we have that too. We can get them delivered or have contactless. He had COVID, yeah. Oh, yeah, does he? Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, I've got written down lots and lots of stuff that we could look at. Oh, good news with the Arbory guys that they've been found guilty, which is good. It brings back a little bit of sense of rightness to the world after the Rittenhouse thing. Yeah, I've written down US versus China and Russia. Could they be planning simultaneous moves? Hi, hippie gypsy. Hi, Michelle Mabel. I'm just wondering if do we want to do all the political stuff today, or do we want to have a bit of fun and do some off the wall things? What would you like? You know, I'm really interested in how those people at the first Thanksgiving would view what was going on today. What do you think? I mean, it's just, yeah. Hmm. What did those pilgrims or whatever? What? I mean, what would they think about today? What would they think about today? They were much more open and sensible, knowing that they couldn't really survive without these people here. That would be really interesting. Does anyone know the names, some of the names of the people there? Hi, Catherine Stubb. Hippie Gypsy, yep. It's just interesting to think about it. And thank you, Miles Standish, Peregrine White. Does anybody know the names of some of the Native Americans who were there? That's all right, Renee. And the names of any of the Native Americans who were there. Does anyone know any of their names? Massasoit and Samoset. Thank you, Catherine Stubbs, for providing that information. Hi, Michelle Peterson. So, and Samoset. Yeah, Plymouth, Massachusetts is about 15 miles from you. I mean, when the founders of that colony, would they have ever envisioned what was going on now? You know, with their hopes and dreams for the future. Yeah. So I thought it might be interesting to do that. And have a look at that. And have a look at the energy around Thanksgiving 2022. See if we can look at the possibilities of Thanksgiving 2022. Hi, Renee Rogers. Seven, 2, 5. And we might use the numbers. So what day is Thanksgiving next year? Because I know it's not always the same date. if you use the full 2021 on the day, 25th of the 11th, 2021, the number that you come up with is 5 for today, for Thanksgiving this year. If you take out the 20, it comes up with 3. So I've been having a look at the numbers a little bit more and looking at how to determine the numbers. So does anyone know what date Thanksgiving will be in 2022? I mean, I could look it up, but can somebody find me that date?
Let's see.
24. Thank you. So 6, 2, 4, 12. It's 3 next year as well. So 6, 2, 6, 1, and it's 5 next year as well. So they're both going to be 3 or 5, depending on how you do it. That's interesting. I'm only just playing with numbers now. I only just started to go in there a little bit more. But so I just thought, what would they think about what's going on now? You know, what about any other questions that maybe not political, but looking at Thanksgiving and things associated with it?
Where do I put this thing?
Oh, just put it here, baby, so
On,
nobody else see.
Right
Nobody will see you.
No, I'm gonna put it right here.
Take
that stuff.
Right. Okay. You shy boy. Say
Uh,
hello.
G'day, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. That's something happening here.
It's Thanksgiving Eve over there now. It's Wednesday night.
Big deal. I get that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ex-President Donald Trump's given 9th-degree black belt in Taekwondo. I don't think so. I'm sorry. That's just so funny. Oh, and I was looking at things at December. I saw a in my Facebook. Somebody was saying the 12th of the 12th, and resonance was associated with that date. So the 12th of the 12th, 21. It's a 6-day. It's also 12/12 is an ascension gateway associated with and yeah, it's an ascension gateway. Sorry, I didn't cross out that word. And it marks a time of global healing and propels change. So that'll be interesting. So that's what's got me off on looking at all the numbers, the single numbers for the days of February. There's also a full moon on the 18th. And the 21st is the winter solstice. So I thought we might have a look at the full moon on the 18th. and I'll have a look again closer. I just feel like it's a sort of time where there's so many other tensions in the world and so many other things going on. There's been some good news. The judge orders $187,000 in fines against lawyers who challenged the 2020 election in their court, which is cool. A lot of GOP former and current officials are getting very niggly about the RNC paying Trump's legal bills. They feel it could even be contravening some of their own bylaws on neutrality because he's not a candidate. The Republican Governors Association, who does their own fundraising, has said they're not going to do any. So, how about we open up and we do some, I'll probably go back to the political stuff in a little while, but how about we open up with a bit of a dive into some of the people at the first Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm going to light a candle here. Okay. I can never find my box of matches. Horse hooey. I love that. Horse hooey. Yeah, I might have a look later on. But I just thought we'd start off and do some Thanksgiving-centered stuff. I don't have a pumpkin spice candle. Sorry, guys. Horse hooey. I love it. Hi, False Teeth. I'm going to do a bit of a dive into the people at the first Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not going to do all of them, but how would they, in general, feel about it, and how a couple of possibly one of the Pilgrims or one of the Native Americans, okay, felt about it. So first, I'm going to do some extra prayers, okay. So I've done my normal prayers just to myself, and I'm going to ask for guides of the highest truth and compassion. Please help me tap into the energy of that first Thanksgiving dinner. Do a reading on that, and then ask questions of what these people would feel. What I might do is I might bring up a picture representing it. You know how I do with the map? So I'm going to, I sort of trying to picture it all, but because it's not part of Australian history and stuff, it's not something I've seen very many pictures of. So I'm going to find a picture and then I'll bring it up, okay? And that will help me tap into the energy. 1621. Is it 1621, 1620? 20. Is there another eclipse on the 4th? Well, that's interesting. So here's a painting by Jeannie A. Brownscombe. So we'll bring that up. Beautiful. It really is beautiful. If not a bit idealized, but it does represent the whole thing. So what I'm going to do, and I said I'd invite. I better send this. I said I'd send an invite to Herc if he had time and wanted to join me, Jay. So we'll just Jay invite to live. Because I've only just decided to do this, I'm just getting things together a bit. So I've just sent that invite to Jay. So I'm going to share the screen, as you know. I'll bring up this image, and it's a nice image. Hi, Teresa Baltasar. Hi, Melinda. How are you, sweetie? So I thought I'd tap into the energy. So I'm going to be looking at the image. Did they get there? How long were they there? Did they land in 1620? And this was like, yeah. Anyway, this is the dinner I'm focusing on. So it's about the first. There was a bit of confusion, but some respect. Like, what are these people from the boat who built that strange structure? What are they doing? But still, it was like they stayed respectful. Let's have a look. I think The Llewellyn deck is a really good one for this because it has all the beautiful tones of fall, November. All but 4 of the women died during that winter. So they were fine in the warmer months, but during the winter, yeah. One, two, three, 4. Yeah, there's 4 women in there and some children. So let's have a look. What was the atmosphere there? What was the energy of it like? Justice, balance. It was a real balance. It was very much balanced amounts of respect, even if there was not quite understanding about what these people were doing or what these people would be doing. There was still a really huge balance of respect for each group of people. It was not within the Native Americans' philosophy to let others just die. So they, they once they find out what had happened before, it wasn't within their philosophy. Hi, Bonnie Russell. It's openness to 6 of Wands. In this case, it wasn't about victory. It was about sending a message. Another part of the 6 of Wands was the emissary. And in these cases, these people were pilgrims. They felt it was their job to spread the word. So yes, the pilgrims definitely had a message they wanted to send, and by showing their thankfulness to the Lord, and they make no mistake, they were there to try and convert others to their ways as well, and this is one of their ways of starting. I've got the Tower. This is a big change. Having these people come here, yes, they'd had people come before, Vikings and things like that, but having these people come here and be so permanent in their attitude, this was a big change for these people. Yes, I've got the tower here. But it was also a little bit of a humbling situation as well. And the other part about the Six of Wands is that if you reverse it, it can be about a humbling situation. So these pilgrims, they obviously felt very humbled. And it caused them to have some deeper insights into themselves and how prepared they were and what they needed to do. And that they needed to put some ideas about the people who were here first behind them, but you know, that they're, whether they're savages or this or that, but you know, right from the start, I felt that, yes, it was also a thing of caution here. So, you know, this was like a changing moment that led so many generations later into some pretty horrific things. So it was, it was a harbinger of change as well for Native American people. And that sort of, I think they sort of realised that. So there may have been a rippling of unease somewhere in there too. And this is just in general, okay? Because make no mistake, these people were truly, truly, truly thankful that they have been saved. Page of Wands. Again, there's this speaking their word, taking an opportunity to introduce their way, to not force it upon these people, but introduce their way of doing things to these people, to the Native Americans. I shouldn't say these people, sorry, I'm very sorry about that. To the Native Americans. So the thing is about pilgrims is that they all were out to change the world, their world, and to introduce others to their ways. Okay. This was a real connecting point. When I was doing, one of my students made a very, very, very astute observation about the hedge in the Ace of Pentacles that appears in many Ace of Pentacles. And she said it can be a point of connection as well. A point of connection. So this is not just speaking of new opportunities and new relationships, but a point of connection between, a real point of connection between these two people. Okay, the Tower's coming into a bit more clarity here. They were saved from absolute destruction and they were aware of this. Okay, without the Native Americans, they were saved from absolute destruction with the Tower. So there was, you know, there's always a couple of people in a crowd who are like a little bit uneasy about being there and stuff like that. So there may have been some of that, but no, it was very much truly what it's been given to be. And they were thankful for the opportunities to rebuild their strength and strengthen, and this connection, this connecting point in history, not just strengthen the colony, sorry about that, It strengthened the colony. And they learned so much. They weren't so proud that they didn't realise they couldn't learn. So this was also an opportunity to learn from the people around them. It was a very, very special day. There was I won't say it's an equal balance of power, because honestly there wasn't. The Native Americans could have come in, even with them. There were so few of them left, but it's like they chose to be in balance. These were very good people, all of them. All of them, everyone who came together there. It may be misguided intention and stuff, but yeah. Even with the odd misgiving here or there, it was truly a real connecting point. Yeah. So that's just about the general energy of that first dinner. It's beautifully soft and muted. That picture. So I'm going to start with Samoset. And what would he make of what is happening so many years on? 21. 400 years on? Was 400 years ago, wasn't it? This Thanksgiving. $16, 21, 17, 21. So that's 100. 18, 21, 9. Yeah. 400 years ago. This is the 400th anniversary of that first Thanksgiving this year. So it is very special. So 400 years later, what would Samoset make of the situation here? Pride that some of the descendants are now in places of power and responsibility. Not that that hasn't happened before. Okay, let's have a look. Well, how would he feel 400 years later, reflecting on what the changes today? The universe has so many changes. This is like a place he doesn't recognise of coldness and with everything that's happened. But it's not coldness of physical coldness, it's the coldness of society. Hi, Viviane. I'm looking at the first Thanksgiving and I've done the energy of it. And now I'm looking at a couple of the people who were there and how they would feel. So I'm looking at Samoset, the world he doesn't recognize that chills him. But there is also some pride. Four of Wands, he is also celebrating that redresses are being made and that people are Native American people are being put in positions to look after Native American people, if you know what I mean. So he's feeling some small feeling for celebration here, but this whole new world, it's complete. It's nothing like the world he knew. Better things. I've got the sun. It's like so that Native American people can be cabinet ministers. Even the native, there was a Native American who was vice president back in the 20s. That there are better things. He feels like be coming out of darkness. Coming out of darkness. I hope that's true, but not just for his people, but take this time of celebration and highlight all the good and guide yourself out of the darkness. It is a good time for a new start. This is the 400th anniversary of that first. Hi, Ron. Of that first Thanksgiving. It's been a cold, cold world for the last couple of years, but it's time to bring it out of the dark, celebrate everything that this should be and bring things out of the dark, not just for, and not, this man was generous beyond means, not just for the descendants of Native Americans, but also for everybody. His wishes for everybody. He celebrated the milestones and the appointments. Yes. There's still a bit of struggle. There's still a bit of struggle to come out of the darkness. But take inspiration. Take inspiration from a day like today and how a group of people were saved from a cataclysm. A cataclysm for them would have been them being swallowed up by this new land without hope of survival, and they were saved from that. And take inspiration and be thankful for the abundance that there still is here. But in order to come out and go back, you know, be able to bathe in sunlight again, you're going to need to be prepared to fight for it. How does he personally feel about Trump? Let's have a look, see if I can tap into that. So how does Somerset? And it's the cards I'm reading. I'm not hearing anything, okay? I'm reading the energy of the cards that it is. That's what I'm getting from the, okay? Because I don't speak to people, I don't hear them. Not really. Sometimes I'll get a very firm voice in my head for a yes or a no. Is this going to happen? I'll get yes go through my head or no. But I'm not speaking to any spirit. I'm just reading on the energy of the cards. I'm asking my guides to show me through the energy of the cards. Okay. Hi, Jay. I sent you an invite if you would like to join me in a little bit. We could talk about healing on this 400th anniversary of the first Thanksgiving. The Somerset, how does he feel about the political events of the last year? Doomed relationships. Hi, Tara S. Doomed relationship. This is the Lovers here. And Four of Cups. This is something that cannot stay as it is. You cannot keep focusing on the past. Look up. And look up. I feel like put your chin up and have more pride, you know. It is no good. You are just looking at this. This is like, why are you just sitting here and letting these things happen? Put your chin up. Look above you. Look what is above you. It's sustenance, much needed sustenance for you. Don't just sit there and let yourself be wasted away. Put your chin up. Have more pride in yourself. Yep. So, yeah. What does he feel about Trump? Oh, well, things are not always as they seem. He was not what he seemed, but we were romantic about what we wanted. But this is the thing. I'm not willing to me, this is the false knight. Of course, he was not what he seems. So I'm going to be extra cautious about that card because I have such, you know, you want things given to you, but you have to earn them. This knight's coming in with sustenance on a wave, on a romantic wave. So it's also a caution. Be cautious, because if you want things just handed to you, like this knight is handing over the cup of sustenance, you know, there's often a price. So I can find another image if you're not too comfortable with that one. That is absolutely fine. I will find another image. Let's have a look at this one. this is the problem. This one also has the sitting on the ground to the side with a, that really is a problem, isn't it? It could just be culturally right that they would prefer to be on the ground. I'll have a look when that picture was painted. (1914), that first one was. There's another one here, 1925. (1898). Did they eat? Here's one from 1899. This painting shows common misconceptions about which persist to modern times. Pilgrims did not wear such outfits, nor did they eat at a dinner table. The Wampanoag are dressed in the style of Native Americans from the Great Plains. So, yeah. So there's a lot of misconceptions. So honestly, if they didn't eat at a dinner table, they would have been on the grounds with others. So that's very interesting. But anyway, obviously, I'll stop sharing the screen there. Yeah, so honestly, it's like bad partnerships were made. You cannot just keep watching it go by. You have to lift your chin up and be more proud. And this is when you expect things to just be given to you. You know? Now I'll have a look at, what's the governor there? But I think we'll look at one of the, John Alden. I think I'm going to hone in on. Hi, Julie. Say it. Now, some people took exception to the picture that I had up there, so yeah. The fact of the matter is that the pilgrims would more than likely have been sitting on the ground as well. So, you know. Hi, Crazy Cat Lady Farley. John Alden. What can go into the highest truth and compassion? Can you guide me towards the energy of John Alden? What he would think of today, 400 years after this. The energy. So remember, I don't hear voices. I don't ask questions of them. I just ask for the energies that to come out in the cards. Okay. Okay. Knight of Wands. He'd be really impatient. It's like, no, he'd be like, what on earth? Why on earth are you holding back? This person is evil. Why on earth are you holding back? Why are people so evil, able to control so much? Three of Pentacles. If you do not work together, if you come together and work as, if you work together, you get more. Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. These people will not give up. Move faster, get things done quicker, start pushing things forward more. This is about in America, not really the whole world. So basically, he would be like a real firebrand today. Oh, he too is honing in on take this time to celebrate and think about how you can work together with, because the Four of Wands is on top of the Three of Pentacles. Work together more. So take this time to be thankful and think about how you can work together more. Hi, Laura Carlson. I am doing a reading on the first Thanksgiving. I got some energy from that. And now I had a look at what Samoset would be thinking, would his energy about what is happening today. And now I'm looking at John Alden, who I feel was a real firebrand. Hi, Sheila. Page of Wands. Speak up. Stand up and speak up. Here's we've got the rabbit, which is of course fertility. Stand up and speak up. There's so much more that this country can give you, but not if you don't speak up. How does he feel about Trump? Throw that, whatever the term would have been at the time for someone like Trump, in jail. Just, he was, I think he was very, very blunt, this person. Queen of Cups. Oh, things are, the lid is going to be coming off. Seven of Cups. This man confuses, is so confused by how such a thing was allowed to happen and how so many mistakes and bad turns and bad choices were allowed to be made with this country. And it's not just with Trump, it's going back further. Newt Gingrich. It did go back further than Trump. The Republican Party was supposed to bring hope and change. That's its ideal. But that's been lost and corrupted by someone who was more interested in upsetting the boat, the harmonious boat. He's like, he knows what he thinks of Trump, but there's so much more depth to what happened. But trust me, these players will answer. Will be called for to answer for their actions at some stage. So, yeah. I like that, man. I don't know. But I liked that energy. Very blunt. Oh, he's like, it's not about confusion. He's a bit confused as how did things get to such a state where so many bad choices were allowed to happen. So many wrong turns were allowed to be taking place. This man was pre-Democrat, pre-Republican. But Still got a bit of a rough time ahead. But there is momentum building, just this one, the bottom of the card. And justice will prevail. And there will be a new balance. At the end of it. But you should build up your reserves for a bit of a tussle. But this dark time will come to an end. This frozen time will come to an end and things will be warmer. So, end of the long dark night of the soul. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. It was really interesting. Just sort of, there were undercurrents of not sure about this. And yeah. So I found it really interesting. They would be baffled. They would be baffled at how the world, at how this country, this land that they landed and hoped to build new lives in came to where it is. GB Cooper. You want me to have a read on GB Cooper? I can see what I can find out. Hi, Anne Rudd. Crazy Cat Lady Farley. Laura Carson. Sheila. Wow. Oh, that was really interesting. My resources are limited to what I can get to get the feeling of. So I'm sorry if some people did not like the picture I chose to use, but you know, it is the one I chose to use. They did really care about the democracy. But the Democrats were very much as the Republicans are now. And they had to work their way through all of that darkness and nastiness to get to the party that they are now. And the fact of the matter is that Republicans have to do the same thing. Do you want me to have a look at DB Cooper? Yeah. Okay, DB Cooper. Firstly, did he survive the jump? Yes, he did survive, but he was not unhurt. He was hurt. With the 9 of Wands. Another 9. What happened next? Another 9. He had his money. Even though he was injured, he really felt very smug. He felt like he'd gotten away with it. The Hierophant. Interesting. Why the Hierophant and what happened next? Why that? Partner. He had a partner. He had a partner. The plans and the strategies. Often for me, the Hierophant is processes working as they should. And I'm getting, he had a partner with the Lovers card, but things did not, from there, things did not go as planned. This is D.B. Cooper looking at Queen of Swords. He didn't end up in front of I mean, nobody saw him again. So what's with the Queen of Swords? Increasing turbulent, cold shoulder. Resources. Pain. I just need to check something with my notes. There's something about that. I've got resources. He had stuff that he needed, but that Queen of Swords is really confusing me. I sort of feel like sharp change, rapid change, mercurial, rapid change. You know, like the Queen. Some say the Queen of Swords can be very mercurial. She's got the butterfly there, rapid change. It's like he went through, and health. And the Pentacles can be about health. So it's like he went into some sort of rapid change with his health. I think he came when he was moving. Did he hide the money? Yes, he did hide the money. He was feeling very smug, and he hid the money. His health, I think as he moved, he sort of went to somebody. He came across someone who offered help because it was obvious he was not well. and it got sort of back onto a more even keel, into a more stable place. No, this is definitely about mental chaos. He was not very well. He could have been delirious and all that. Now, then I've got what happened next was the Ace of Pentacles, opportunity, and on top of that is the Two of Pentacles, juggling things. Juggling one thing with the other. I don't think did he ever find where he put it. He hoped to go back. He hoped to be able to find where he hid it. But I don't think he ever did. I do think he survived. He came out of the wilderness. He took on a new job and all that, and sort of juggled this. Don't be surprised if one of these experts on D.B. Cooper's treasure was D.B. Cooper himself from closer in the time. He probably stayed under the radar for a few years, and then he was like one of these experts looking at this, looking at that, going and looking into it. I do feel one of them was probably him himself. But he trying to redress the balance. He's always hoped to be able to find it and redress the balance and celebrate with his friend, but no. Oh my goodness. When he hid the money, he was really starting to deteriorate, and he didn't realize it, and he didn't take as much. So the money's still out there. He hasn't spent it. It's still out there. I do think he's passed now. Has he passed? Yeah. He's passed now. Well, I do feel one of those experts on D.B. Cooper was actually D.B. Cooper himself. That came about possibly about 10 years later. Hi, Deborah Costro. We don't do Thanksgiving here in Australia, but I do want to say I am very thankful to all of you. It's nice. The political stuff is great. It really is. It's interesting. It's vital to help find, that sometimes it's just some days calls for something a little bit different, doesn't it? So I hope you're happy with that I'm choosing to do something a bit different. Anyway, my channel. There. That was really mature of me, wasn't it? I really was very fascinated by it. I didn't want to get, just reading the energy of first the dinner, the Thanksgiving dinner in general, and then what the cards were saying to me about the energy of Samoset and John Alden. The friendship you guys offer me, and Sheila and Ron and Ali, and the opportunity you guys give me to open up about some things with support is really great. So, what was in the JFK papers? What are the JFK papers? Can somebody recap that for me? I'll tell you one thing I am thankful for, even though he can drive me bananas at times. My hubby. 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 I've got to get up and stretch my legs because of, circulation and stuff. I'll be back in a minute, okay? Oh my goodness, it is warm today. Hey, sweetie. You do me another coffee?
Well, what's happening, buddy? Still there? Yeah, sure. Still broadcasting?
I am, but he's like to get up and stretch my legs. I'm trying to do every time. For circulation. You really want to keep moving.
Tell me about that. I don't know. Of course, I don't know anything about that. God, God, no, a cup or two. I might go to this. Oh, goodness.
I'm back. What are the JFK papers? So somebody fill me in on that. Freddie Mercury. Oh, the wonderful Freddie. What in the secret JFK government papers? Let's have a look here. They are government papers. Yep. I don't know. I'm not really getting that. You have a bowl of coffee.
Oh, no.
Oh, what?
Down to my last pot of Ethiopian blend coffee.
What I put you put a pack of 12 just less than a week ago.
I like the Ethiopian blend.
Oh.
It's different. Oh,
Noodle.
the hardships I have. I have to pick from one of the other 6 blends. Well, that's right. Okay, coffee cup. So you like this stick? It's not so much the insignia on it, but the fact it holds the heat, eh?
Yeah, it does hold the heat quite nicely.
I'll have to get you a similar coffee.
Well, what a handsome man. When he smiled in his eyes. Sorry, it's JFK, but I'm not you.
Okay.
So anyway, JFK Creative Commons. I'm trying to find a photo. So images and Creative Commons is often a good way to do that. So why did they there's that wonderful portrait of JFK. Isn't there? I wonder if I can use that. Where he's walking.
First, let's make a space for me to. No, it's too hot to do that. It's okay, isn't it?
Thank
There
you.
you go. Oh.
Why's that
Okay.
green clumping?
Well, I was just seeing that. That's probably put too much in. Too much love.
Too much love, hey?
Let's see the date on it. 25th of November. Oh,
That's today.
so yeah. Oh, that's a shame. Because that's what type of cream is going to get thick. What? Chris?
Could you give it another stir?
Oh, yeah.
Safety first.
Yeah, I don't like the look of that one actually. Coagulated dairy proteins caused by heat. No, I think this one's turned, sweetie.
Oh, it's turned, the cream's turned. Well, you know what that means.
You can have your
Frothy.
milk.
Frothy, frothy.
Oh yeah. Nothing good.
Ah.
All right. Nice and mug. There we
Here we go. Oh, thank you, Em.
go. Oh. I'm gonna have to ditch this one, though.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Seems like just yesterday we bought it.
So I'm just going to bring up
Oh.
his signature. Let's see. I'm not going to do handwriting analysis or anything like that. Just his signature. So JFK papers. What is there in them? I'm going to use the deck with some reversals.
Oh.
As with many men in power, there was both good and
Oh.
they were good men, all of them, even with the mistakes that they made. All the Kennedy men were good men. You're lurking today, teaching your dad how to use his smartphone. Okay. Now, the Kennedy papers. Why did they delay them? Why did they delay them? So they were due to be released, but they've been delayed. I feel like they're going to wait until the papers on Bobby Kennedy. Seven of Cups. Confusion. The Hermit reversed. When were they due to be released? Because I feel like this is gaslighting. I think when were they? Because it's like they can be used as a tool. Page of Cups reversed. Immature emotion. I mean, look at what happened with this thing in Dallas with JFK Jr. Oh, he's going to return. You know, I feel like somebody very, very smart in the past week. So that's when they were due to be released. Yeah, honestly, I do think it's that thing in Dallas, that delusional thing. That really, they don't want them to be used as a tool to gaslight and confuse and distress people and to play into people's delusions. So they're like, no, we're not going to shine a light on as we would normally do with these things because of the unstable mental or emotional climate, this instability and this immaturity and this, you know, these people. And honestly, oh my goodness, thank you.
Okay.
People using John JFK, and they'll do the same with RFK as well. They don't want I hope you don't mind me having some cream. And I think there may have been a request from his family, from Carolyn. And that they not be released at this time because of the possibility, the probability of them being used by conspiracy theorists to stir up trouble. And be used to corrupt. I do feel they will get there eventually, but not at the moment. Trump will use them. Trump will use them. You know, Trump will use them. This is Trump. And even though it's not reversed, it's like all his corrupt glory. He's not above using those papers to raise money for himself. Well, look what happened. JFK Jr. was going to return and reinstate Trump. Heaven knows how he was going to do that. So it is a way of not allowing people to use them. That's all right. Do you want to join me? And we can have a talk about some healing and all that. I'm not, you know, and I sent you the invite. So if you want, you can join me, Jay. So, yeah. So about not allowing these people to use the memory of this man and the information contained in these papers for such disgusting and yeah. And it's about putting a stop to this crap right at the start. So honestly, it was that business in Dallas that really played a big part of why these papers aren't being released when they were supposed to. I think that they will probably delay them quite possibly until they release papers on Robert Kennedy, on Bobby. But yeah, it's about, no. I do feel like Carolyn was it? Made that request as well. That, after seeing how her brother's memory was used for such an end, it's like, no. And other members of the Kennedy family too. I think maybe Joseph might have requested it as well. I like Joseph Kennedy, the one he's got a bit of work to do, but he is going to do some good things. But it's honestly, it's not about keeping things secret for longer. It's because of what happened in Dallas. It was a request that was on it. And honestly, I think too that we've got trucks coming to pick up rubbish and stuff. So it's bulk rubbish collection. Joseph Kennedy Sr.'s, grandsons are income, Bobby's grandson is Joseph Kennedy III, I think. And of course, there's Keddy's children as well. So that's why it was just, no, they do not want those papers being used as a tool. Will they come out when Robert Kennedy's papers are released? And he's got, 5 years yet? They'll be kept close. King of Cups. Biden will make that decision then. We've got Biden here. Four of Pentacles. Until that time, Temperance. If there's been some sanity and balance regained in American politics by then, yes. But they're not going, they will. So they might even refrain from releasing Bobby Kennedy's papers about him as well. Yeah. They will look at the state of affairs at the time, and if this idea of abusing the memories of these people has gone, then there'll be movement towards releasing them. But they might be a bit of a delay with him too, with his papers. Yeah. If that corruption of their memory, Knight of Cups. Yeah, it's not there. So at the time, at the time, a decision's going to be made at the time, depending on what and they might even delay it a little bit longer. Whitby is adorable. Just some of the governments just some papers that the government have held in check as they have to for a while about the investigation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and the same way with Robert Kennedy. So they may delay it until Robert Kennedy's are due to be released. So it purely comes down to that crap that happened in Dallas recently. There's that. It's like, whoa, you know, what the hell is this? Yeah, the assassin, yeah, the papers, yeah. So definitely. Yeah, of course it makes no sense, but you can understand why the family especially and you know, the government wouldn't want these things to be brought out and used as a tool, you know. I thought Garfield was another president who was assassinated, wasn't he? Bless it. Lara Trump suggests that rising prices are part of a plot that started last year under her father-in-law to eliminate all traditions, transform the country, and eliminate Halloween. What the hell? Really? That doesn't sound like pro-Trump. She was like, such a big
Hello, guys.
hello. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. You guys hear me okay?
It's Jay. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. I thought it was
That's
tomorrow,
all right. I've been wanting to get you to come on and join us for so long.
Cool.
You know, to come on and yeah, and Jay sends me an invitation every week, but it's like something like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning my time, so it's like really, and I'm determined to get on and join you on your stream, but I have to work it. I'm going to be pretty busy the next couple of days because I've got a couple of real early mornings and stuff.
No
Have
worries.
you reached 500 subs yet, my darling?
Not yet. I'm getting there. So, any
You
help
let me know. Please, if you
appreciate it.
haven't subscribed to Jay, please do. He's absolutely wonderful. I don't get on and see as many as my colleagues' videos as I would like, but he's absolutely wonderful in what he does. And so if you're watching and you haven't heard of Herc 123 or 213, sorry,
That's okay.
And Jay's channel, go check him out. If you like it, please subscribe. Get his thumbs up. Give him a thumbs up. So, my darling, you're preparing for a family Thanksgiving, which must be really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a live stream tomorrow too. So a friend of mine. Yeah, it's something very funny that happened on today's live stream. It was about Wellness Wednesday, but it turned into a comedy thing. So I want to do something fun tomorrow for the peeps. So I'm doing something like that too at night.
I've never experienced a Thanksgiving dinner. I really would love to be able to experience one. What is as a person who does, of course, what's the atmosphere like? Is it, what does it
Mm,
mean to you as a person to be able to go and spend time with your family and stuff?
that's a good question. And it's like with Thanksgiving. I know the origin stories about it, and I know it's
Mm,
pretty dark, but for me, it's just like a way of just spending time with the family too, and just
mm,
enjoy good food and company, and have a good time with them too, especially. So that's
mm,
to me, from my experience, what Thanksgiving is to me. It's
mm.
always been that way since I was a teenager, and all that, and it
Do,
hasn't changed. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, do you as a family just put, right, this is Thanksgiving, you cross that threshold, everything is left outside. Everything, all of the tensions with the political opinions or all of the skirmishes within family, is that everything is left outside.
Hmm.
And it's a time to be together, and
Right.
you can go back to that another day. Is that the sort of thing that's encouraged in
Well, I could just share from my own experience. To me, it is
yeah.
in some ways because, and sometimes people like my family talks about certain things and so on and so forth. With me, I like to just leave all the stuff that we're very behind, with politics and all that too, and just
Yeah.
spend time with each
Hmm.
other as a family. And, sometimes too, it's just like, there's a couple of times that I had Thanksgiving with my friends, a few years ago too. So it's, one of those things. It really depends on our experience too. It's where sometimes Thanksgiving could be good, sometimes it could be challenging, for some people. So I
Mm.
can only speak from my experience. I can't speak for all of us in
Yeah,
general.
no, I'm asking about your family experience, your
Right.
experience.
Okay. Yeah, my
So
experience has been pretty cool, so far. So I mean, I leave everything like behind when it comes to
mm,
everything else, and I just have a good time with them too, just with as a family.
to me, that's the sort of thing, like with Christmas and
Hey,
Boxing Day.
Ron. Hey,
For
Renee.
those
Sorry.
2 days, it's like, let everything else just work. Don't worry about diet. Don't worry about this. Just
Right.
let everything else slide and enjoy the next 2 days, and just, you know, um, and just, be with people you love. And if
Hmm.
you can't be physically with them, contact them, you know, and tell you love. Because all of my family are over on the East Coast, so I can't physically be with them. And so even though James and myself, it's usually just us, we still contact the other people that we love, and wish them Merry Christmas and stuff like that. And
Mm.
it, but there can always be some things in your life that are happening that, of course, do impact. People might have recently lost a loved one, or somebody's actions might have had a devastating effect on the family and things like that. Um, and So sometimes there are those things that you can't ignore them, and they come into family with you. But in that case, do if there's something like that within your family, does your family like take this as a time to just show the love and the care, and you know healing, with take that time to be with and support each other through that time when they might not be able to get together in a group to do that at other times? Do they take that opportunity? Would they take that opportunity?
Yeah, from my experience, yeah, they always do, especially, if we dealt with loss or anything like that too. We take the time to just, hang out as a family, even for like a few hours and just
Yeah, and
celebrate the memories.
you can
Yeah.
remember the good times. Yes, somebody might not be here, but you can remember everything they brought to your life, or the good things. Be thankful for having had the time that they've had with them. It's just curious, because I've always seen it as an observer and stuff like that. And but it seems to me that it's an opportunity to take that comfort and family and healing time and take it into the future. Do you come away from a family Thanksgiving like feeling like you've got something more to take into your future for that?
Oh wow, I never thought of that. Yeah, I mean, when I like every Thanksgiving that I experience, it's just like for me, it's like a grounding feeling. So I take away like how can I say this? Like a very warm sensation feeling. It's kind of like like when you see relatives you haven't seen for so long and you want to see them again too. It's kind of like that feeling, and it's very interesting too because we usually do that like for Thanksgiving and Christmas too. And even if like we don't see each other too, like on Christmas or Thanksgiving, we still find ways to, connect. So it's like whether if it's like I'm having Thanksgiving or Christmas at my friends or even just like with family, it's just like I just like I know I'll do my best to take some good experience from it too, and just see I know I'll have a good experience as well because I'm going to people that really appreciate me and we all appreciate each other basically. So hopefully that answers your question.
Oh yeah, it really does because they do appreciate you like nobody else does, and one of the words you said near the start was it gave you a grounded feeling, and I can relate to that. Nothing grounds me to hear more than a hug from my hubby, So if I'm feeling a little bit, I go and get a hug and he'll come to me for a hug, and it's very, very grounding. And I know that when I had the very, very thankful opportunity to go and visit my mum, and my niece picked me up at the airport and she gave me a big hug. And then the next day when we went to pick up her brother who was coming up to Charters Towers with us because I flew into Townsville, he gave me a big hug. No, he gives good hugs, my nephew. If I could, I'd hire him out to give hugs and both times it was like just feeling grounded and back in the warmth of family. So in all three different cases, and I gave my mum a hug, and she sort of a loose hug because it's like she's so tiny and frail now. But again, it's just like that feeling of grounding that you do not get from anyone else, from these people who know you best or love you for who you are. And every hug I got was like being grounded into a feeling of safety and familiarity. And that is just so important. Do you feel like do you get that from when you do the Thanksgiving hugs or the Christmas hugs or anything?
Yeah, I do get that, especially, just thinking about it now, I was like, I was just thinking about, not having a Thanksgiving with my mom again too, because the last one I had, and I don't want to make anyone sad, it was just in 2019. It was kind of one of those grounding ones I ever been to because my mom was usually always prepares everything, but for that year she didn't have to, and she was good. She let herself be grounded and comfortable, and I never seen her like that, like mostly all the time, and it's pretty cool. And she had a good time with relatives and her granddaughter, myself, my dad, her daughter too, and everyone too at her new home that we just bought that year. So it was one of those things too, and it's just
Did
like
she pass your mum?
yeah.
Has she passed? Yeah, I'm so sorry, sweetheart.
Thanks. I mean, I still miss her too, and it's just like it's just one of those things, I just remember. It's just those memories too that just keep me happy because, like during that year that she passed, it was rough too. Just dealing with that and COVID a pandemic and a breakup at the same time. Then
Mhm.
it was like a triple whammy. It was like I was surprised how I was still standing and still sane from all that too. It was just like it was wild. But it's just like I know that my mom's like with me too, and especially like
Yeah,
now because she always gives me ideas, and
you know,
it's just. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt
my
you.
dad passed 10 years ago, and there are
Right.
still times when I want a hug from my dad. When I'm big on hugs,
Mm,
and sometimes when I will still talk to him, and stuff. And sometimes when probably a bit naughty, but when I come out with something particularly outrageous, I'll say, "Oh, that's Dad prodding me," but not really. But that's just me being, that So there are, yeah,
Thanks, Renee and Bronx Sage and everyone in the chat room. You guys are awesome.
yeah. I was wondering, you do quite a bit of healing stuff on your channel, don't you? You do talk
Yeah,
about healing a lot. Yeah, it is about healing, very much about healing. Have you got a
yeah.
message for everybody about how they can take the warmth and the comfort and the grounding from such an occasion as Thanksgiving and help it with healing, just within personal healing, or putting that out towards healing the country? Do you
Mm.
have any insight or messages about that?
Well, I could share something. It's just like for the people watching now and watching a
Mm,
replay, it's just like, for people, especially for those in the US who are celebrating Thanksgiving too, who are going with family who that is beautiful or challenging, or even just like, if they're not doing anything on Thanksgiving, it's just really always practice self-care. And I always mention this in my live streams. It's just like when we practice self-care to where we can take a break, or we can just set boundaries, or we can just to really watch something humorous. Laughter is the best medicine, and when you can take a bad day and turn it to a beautiful day and a really fun day, especially for challenging things like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and make it
mm,
inviting some friends over, or even just making a live stream too, connect with all the people, because that can really make things worthwhile. And it's just like when you practice that self-care just really in your own way, basically too, can really take us far, especially during the difficult times. So that's where I'll leave it at that.
yeah. Oh, well, that's lovely. It is, yeah. Self-care is really important, and even if it's taking out a few minutes just to sit down and take a deep breath, and
Yeah,
especially on days and emotional days,
yeah.
and it
Hmm.
can be very, 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 very hard. And yeah, sometimes I think that some people who don't take that time out to go and look after themselves, then they might have trouble at the end of the day and be worn out at the end of the day. You
Hmm.
can you want to look after everyone who's come to your place, or come together, but if you don't give yourself those few minutes every now and then to look after yourself, you
Hmm.
know you can't look after others if you don't look after yourself. That's a simple message, isn't it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Katie, mhm.
Hey, Kathleen J. White Worker, what's
How
up?
are you, my darling?
Yeah, and
Would you like?
especially you brought up a good point, about just taking a breath. It could be more than just that too. It could be like, if you're having like a difficult time in the holidays and you want to how to just shift that around, you could always do something that you love. It could be like from reading, even just talking with the friends, if they're available. And even just like watching something humorous or just, creative. It's just like when you use our creativity in our self-care practice, it can really just take us far too. It's like even I'll just share like with today. I was just with Wellness Wednesday Solutions, and it turned into a very comedy skit for at least an hour, and it's talking about Thanksgiving, the wellness, and all the other stuff that the Nasty Woman Tarot shared too. It was just really awesome, mixing it all in, and it's just like wow. it's just like, we can really just turn, really make things, should get a point across, and to really just, about self-care and creativity, how you can use that during the difficult times, like in the holidays, and you can really turn turn that around too. Like, say, like, you could, like, say, like with leftovers, and Ron, yes, you just gave away my secrets. Jay's making muffins.
Muffin.
Yes, yes, yes. But Ron was there on my live stream today.
The Dolly cake muffins, which if
Yep. It
I'm
started
familiar
by
with,
Sharon Lee, and now it's just going global. I
Bunny
said to make
cake.
merchandise on it. And I'm making a live stream about it tomorrow too. Mindful Muffins After Hours. I'm gonna be I don't know if it's at 10
Okay.
p.m. or 9 p.m. I'm trying to decide. It's gonna be a fun live stream. So if people want to have their leftovers, want to laugh their ass off, or even just take their mind off things, come by my channel. So I'll keep you guys updated on the time though. So I'm not sure because I'll be at my aunt's house, but I'll come back at night. So who knows? That's gonna be fun.
So I was thinking, Katie, would you like to join Jay and me for a bit of a chat, and we can have a chat together?
That'd be cool.
Inviting Katie and maybe Ali and Sharon, and might just take a couple of minutes and send out an email, and we can continue talking like I'm doing while I'm doing that, and we'll see who responds. How's that sound?
Sounds
and
cool.
it's lovely.
Yes,
it's lovely talking to you too. As
Mm.
I said, I'm not in. Can you still see me? Can you
Okay.
still see me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh wow, Linda. I feel you. 1988. That was I was born. Oh wow, that's a long time. Yes, Ron. I have my muffin button. So yes, I'm call it that. I'll just leave it at that. So Ron knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Linda. I
So
feel
I've
you.
sent out.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right. So there we go. So I've sent some invites out. Oh, there you are. It's gone. So I've sent some invites out. We'll see who responds. Yeah, because I just love the idea of people coming together and saying what they're thankful for. And
Right.
you got your turkey in the prawn bar. Okay.
Oh,
I sent out,
nice, Aline.
I don't know. You on my Facebook? Are we Facebook friends? Because I put a thing up there with the turkey saying, have you ever thought about using corn? That corn stuff. It's totally disgusting. And you'll understand why I can't say lunch. It's
Entertainment
not that
purposes
I'm
only.
advocating vegetarianism or not eating turkey. I mean, come on, I cooked a chook last night. But yeah, I've had turkey before. I find it a bit dry, so it's yeah. So I just thought it'd be interesting. Are there any secrets to the best turkey that runs in your family? You don't have to share the recipe or anything. But
Oh, I can't think of anything, honestly.
yeah, no, I
Mm-mm.
understand that there's a shortage of cranberries.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I was at the store yesterday. What the heck? I didn't see that.
yeah.
That's weird.
Hang on, I forgot to add someone to the. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Yeah. Linda G was telling Mel Dora, who absolutely adore Mel. He's so funny, especially when he does his Mitch McConnell impersonation. He gets him spot on because, of course, he's from Kentucky as well. That there was a bit of a cranberry shortage. So
Is it like the canned version or just like the?
I don't know. It could be fresh cranberries or something. Mel says he's
Uh,
down the shop. A lot of people use your granddaughter wants ham. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember one day I cooked a big ham once for Christmas. This was when we were all still living in the same town in North Queensland, and my parents were gone overnight Christmas Eve and coming back the next. No, my parents were taking a trip down to see their parents in New South Wales, so they weren't there that Christmas. But all of my siblings were coming over and some friends and all that. So I had to cook a ham, and it came out beautifully, absolutely beautifully.
Nice.
I have to say, the secret to
Hey,
it coming out
Kathleen.
was the fact
Kathy.
that I was absolutely smashed when I put it in the oven. And that's what put it in. And because I'd been down at some friend's place who lived down the road for a New Year's Eve drink, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I strolled back up. This was much earlier in my youth. I'm still in my youth, darlings.
Of course you are.
Yep.
Of course you
We've
are.
got to put the ham
That's
on.
right.
So I shoved it in the oven, turn it on, and yeah. Hey, Katie, how are you, my
Hey.
darling?
Hey.
Yeah, I just sent out some invites and see who's going to bite. And yeah, Ron's saying they're there in Quebec in Canada. So I know that Canadians had their Thanksgiving last month. So yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel terrible when I forget to put someone.
Hey,
on.
and I am grateful to you, Chrissy, because
Oh,
I
thank you.
had my hair. I've been sick with first a migraine, but then with sinuses and everything else, and so I would conk out and then wake up, and so my hair was sticking up. It wouldn't do what I wanted it to do, and so I got Mike's
Love it.
one of his Santa hats, because my
Loving the
husband
hat.
plays Santa. So
All right.
yeah, he's awesome.
It looks fantastic on you, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
loving
I
that
had
hat,
to
Kathy.
put paper towel in the brim so that it
Yeah.
would not sit around my ears. But other than that, it's good.
Well, nothing can hide a bad hair day like a well-placed hat or scarf.
That's right. That's right. That's a thing
Sometimes
to
I should
remember.
go with it. It's right. It's bad, Madam Mim, today. The hair's all over the place. Live with it.
Yes.
So I was talking to now. Are you in Canada or are you in
No,
the US?
I'm in the U.S.
You're in the US. Yeah, I couldn't remember. And so what does Thanksgiving like with your family when you get together with your family? Do you have like certain like things stay at the front door, or is it all in hugs everywhere? Or
Yeah, I mean, basically, usually what happens, but this year, Mike's cousins have COVID, but usually what's happened is they have a big house, so they're the ones that the entire Jones family. They had 6 kids. From the original, Grandma and Grandpa Jones, and their kids and their kids and their kids. We all go over to Cindy's house, and we play games, we sit and talk. I mean, there is so much food there. We could feed an army, because basically that's what it is whenever everybody descends on there. And it's so cool because we may or may not, depending on how far they come, because some of them come from Kansas, and some of them everything, but it's like it's the chance to see everybody, hear what they have been doing, and we play games and we'll be laughing our heinies off. There's several people that are musical, and they will we have just the best time. So it is hard that the person whose house we go to, that couple has COVID. So
Yeah, that
we're
is a bit,
praying for 'em.
isn't it? Yeah,
We're
it
praying
is a
for
bit
'em.
hard, isn't it? I forgot. You probably would have seen the email. I said I forgot to put what it was about here. Join in on a Thanksgiving chat. So people go, "What's this?" Yeah. But yeah, no, it is fun. It does sound a lot like Christmas here in Australia, and Easter, of course, is a good one. I was just saying to her, if I ever get over to the US at this time of year again, I'm definitely going to hunt out a Thanksgiving dinner.
Hey, well, come on over. We got enough food for everybody. You just come on out to their houses in Maysville, Oklahoma, and we got food. And that group, they are spectacular cooks. I mean, and it's kind of like whenever I find a new recipe, I put it in. I have two categories: the Maysville worthy and the not Maysville worthy recipes. Okay.
I'll send you a recipe for saviati. You know what saviati is?
No.
It's an Italian dessert. I'm not Italian, but I grew up in a town which is one of the last places in the world where you can still hear all of the Italian dialects being spoken. So it's very, very full of Italian people. So I learned to cook a lot of things from Italian people, and I learned to make this dessert called saviati. It is nice for people who like something a little bit sweet but not too sweet.
Ooh.
And it is definitely up there. It uses masala wine and sponge biscuits and cream and fruit, and basically you layer these things.
Oh, it sounds decadent. Oh,
it is decadent. It is decadent. So I'll hunt out a recipe for you and send it over. You want the saviati recipe?
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
I reckon it would be Mayfield worthy. You get the sponge biscuits, that they look like this, those they're hard sponge biscuits, but you soak them in masala and condensed milk. So you mix up the mixture of masala wine and condensed milk, and then you marinate them, and then you layer them. And
that sounds wonderful.
I think I'll have to make one this year, even if I have to buy another bottle of masala. It's an old favorite. It's an old favorite. Yeah, but it's just, and I don't know. It does fascinate me that doing that reading as I did before on the first Thanksgiving and stuff, and just getting a reading of two of the people there, one Native American, Samoset and John Alden. And they were both like very, one was hold your chins up and stuff. And the other one was, I said, what does he think of Trump? And he ate a sword, came out, throw the bugger in. They were both very, very strong personalities, right? And so it was like, as I said, I don't speak direct. I ask for energy to come through to the cards, and I get what I get from the cards, and what hits me when I
right.
And it's really interesting. Hi Shelby, Lisa, and hello Tara S, Human Generic, Great the Cat Lady Farley. If I haven't been saying hello yet, that does happen sometimes when I have more people on. But hi everybody, and
hey Shelby.
I thought I would just steer clear of the politics and all that, and look at some more things. What messages do you have about what people can take forward from Thanksgiving into the next year? Do you have any messages about?
Well, I think that every day of the year, every moment of the day.
Mm.
If we can take a just 30 seconds
Mm.
throughout the day to remember that we have a heck of a lot to be thankful for if you
Yeah.
look for it. And
Yeah.
because that is the way that the getting in that mindset of why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? I am, da da da. I've already been through this, blah blah. That you go down a spiral that it's very hard to cling on by your fingernails to keep your head above water.
Mm.
But if we spend a little bit of time on gratitude every year, every moment, let's say not say every moment. If we spend a little tiny amount of time on gratitude every day,
Yeah.
for, and then, think about the big things at Thanksgiving that we're so,
Yep.
grateful for and everything. I think that would help us. I mean, the other thing is, it really brought home with Cindy and Jesse being ill with COVID that we don't always appreciate people around us and people that we love actually like we should,
So what is happening now that they can't host it in that
Well,
lovely big house?
She was sick, but he is bad sick, and he had the antibodies given to him, and he's not in the hospital at this time, but it's they're debating on whether or not for him to go, and so it was it's still, I mean, Cindy, it looks like she's, out of the woods or whatever. She feels bad, but it's not bad. But I mean, but he, on the other hand, they're hoping the antibodies will catch up. But, they're so much fun and they're so loving and everything else. And until a circumstance happened that I was thinking, oh God, they're sick. And then I thought, oh God, how will our Thanksgivings be without their laughter? And that just, and then, of course I set my resolutions and my thoughts on that not happening, on, all this kind of stuff. But it brought to mind taking people for granted.
Yeah.
It's something we shouldn't do. We just shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I'm sure that they wouldn't want you to feel like you couldn't celebrate or anything as well.
Right.
We're
going to go to my mother-in-law's and have the celebration of just the family from there, Mike's sisters and her children and her children's children and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
you can still call and say hello and touch base with people, as I do every year at Christmas and stuff like that. And it really does make you, as you said, wow, these people have done this year after year after year, and it's like, wow, how much had they really given to that celebration just by opening their home and stuff. And everyone, please, loving and healing energy towards Cindy and
Jessie.
What's Jessie.
Her husband's name is Jesse.
Yeah, and to Cindy and Jessie, and as they tackle COVID, and so I'm sending out some white healing energy to both of them, and some yellow positive, and I just picture it going from my eye and over to that section where you are. You're in the northwest, aren't you?
Actually, I'm in the south central Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's in the middle of the country.
Yeah, well, I'll just redirect it then. That's why I always double check that I'm redirecting it to Oklahoma. And Oklahoma. The song. It just popped into my head. You were looking around, I was singing. So if like if any of the nasty women are watching, and I've sent some invite out, but I forgot to join us now for a Thanksgiving chat. So I'm just like send the invite. Oh, and they're like, "What's this?" But I just thought it was it's such a fascinating, and as I said, I didn't even realize till I was doing it that it is the 400th anniversary of that dinner this Thanksgiving. It's 1621, and it's like such a 400 years of history, and it's from that one to this one. And sometimes you must feel like as much in the wilderness in a state of confusion over there as these people felt when they were, because they went through a really dark winter, because they went there in 1620 or anything, and they lost people, and they went through a really hard time, and not knowing where to turn or what to do, and these people came forth and helped them and stuff. And it's like, so I know, just even looking on, if I was living in America, I would just feel in that same fugue of confusion and worry about the future, so it's and there's enough fugue and worry about the future here in Australia.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would do if I was in the US.
Yeah, well, everybody has enough to worry about in their lives. They don't need all this drama.
But it doesn't help, does it? It's like piling on that bad winter or that harsh time on top of everything else. And
so many of the people, I understand that the landlords didn't get paid for most of COVID, but now lots of people are saying that their rent has tripled, they're being evicted, all this kind of stuff, because the restriction of throwing people out is over, and people they're tripling the rent. They're $700 to $2,000 more per month. I mean, people. I mean, it's not like, oh, sure, I'll just whip that out and pay that every month. You can't.
There's even a smaller element of that here in Australia. And honestly, there's a company here who does the funniest ads, and they're a boating, camping and fishing store, BCF. But they've come out with an ad, and I am thinking of complaining about it, because yes, they sell tents, they sell this, they sell that, but they open up this ad with a young couple who have just missed out on being able to buy their place at an auction, right? And then they say, don't worry about all that. You can come and live in a tent for the rest of your life. And it's like, that's a great lifestyle, living in a tent. And it's like, and I feel like, actually, I think they may even have pulled the ad. I hope they pulled the ad.
Yeah, I hope they pulled the ad.
Oh my God. I mean, last year we took a break. Was it last year? Yeah. Sometime last year we went down to Fremantle for the day, and one of the parks, and there was a big kerfuffle picked up, was just full of people living in tents because they'd been kicked out of their houses.
Wow. And
then they got kicked out of the park. And there's a place in Perth where it's just still full of people living in tents because they've been lived out. And it's like, oh, what the hell? Yeah. And hey, dozen cats for me.
Hey, Kelly, what's up?
Yeah, you'll have to tell me the cat names. And I'm like, what the? Normally they have the most funniest ads, but this was like, what? I mean, honestly, I'd be firing their ad company for that one.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, there are other stores that just supply just as much in that department as them.
Wow.
And I thought they may have, that was a huge misstep. It's like, it was just like not taking things seriously, and, I feel so fortunate that, even though we're on limited means, we have enough of our mortgage that we can still continue to pay it. Because of because we've had so much paid off, that the payments are such that we can fit them into our limited means.
Right.
They would gut me if I lost this place. And no, I wouldn't want to go and live in a tent.
Neither would I.
Very much. Neither would I. I could do a caravan. Honestly, I could do a caravan. I grew up, with two parents and 3 siblings. At times we lived in caravan. In fact, I could do that. But just saying, don't worry about it. Go and live in a tent.
Yeah, I can't. I can't go there.
Honestly.
Okay. Mike just got back with the things that I need to cook for tomorrow. So I'm gonna go. But I love you.
I love you.
I really do.
Always good to see you, Kathy.
It's good to see you too, Jay.
Likewise.
Yeah. Back at you. Big hugs. That's just, yeah. So, I just think that I'm so thankful here, even though we don't do Thanksgiving. I thank whoever is control or whatever is control up there, that I live where I live, that I'm in the situation I'm in. Yes, things are very tight, but still we can manage. But I have a home. I have a loving husband. I have the means to communicate with family members face to face, and that we have some good friends as well. And all of those things for me are thankful. And there's one thing I want to. Is there a Thanksgiving match on NFL? Because I like NFL.
Yeah, I believe every time there's a Thanksgiving, there's always a football game. So yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll play it here. That we get it Monday nights. I've been forgetting because I've been so tired to. I get 2 games every Monday morning, early in the AM on Monday morning, which is Sunday night or during Sunday during the day there. And I have been recording them, but the last few weeks since I went to Queensland, I've got to record, and I keep forgetting. But I really enjoy it. Well, I really enjoy watching it. I follow the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay.
Okay, that's your team. That's cool.
Yeah. So if people go, "Oh, the Chiefs," well, bad luck. But yeah,
so we'll get really competitive with football.
So good luck to both teams playing today, whoever you play for or whoever you root for. I hope your team does well and everything. So yeah, I'm just I just really just getting this feeling of anticipation for a lot of people, I think, with getting together, especially as last year a lot of it might have just been not being able to do it, just off the table completely. Right. And being able to have that opportunity and stuff. Yeah, I can only hope and wish that everyone has a really lovely Thanksgiving. I think I might wrap it up now, but thank you, Jay, for joining me and answering my questions and stuff.
Yes.
We'll have to send that recipe. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry. I got to work on that.
No, it's been lovely. And
thank you.
I am going to sign off and say, everybody, please have a safe, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Happy
And,
Thanksgiving to all you guys in the US.
and stay safe, stay strong, stay loving, and stay healthy.
Oh, and
Wonderful.
if you
Yes.
guys want to have a fun night on Thanksgiving, I will be doing a mindful muffin after hours. A place you can eat your leftovers, relax, and have fun. Is a
Is
great
it?
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something, I think Shelby and Ron can attest to what happened on my live stream today. Everyone was just cracking up and having fun. It was just the whole live stream went from wellness to all cracking
Yeah.
up jokes, like in the Terror Lounge Tuesday. It was like a Terror Lounge Tuesday part 2. It was on my live
Okay.
stream. So
So if
yeah,
you have a good time, what time is that your time?
I'm gonna start at 10 p.m. Because I'm not sure what time I'll come
10
back
p.m.
tomorrow.
Eastern? Yeah.
Pacific time. So
Pacific time, 10 p.m. Pacific time on Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'll probably be around for that.
All right,
Because
cool.
that's
I
like
might
my
email
time.
some people about it too, so if they want to
Yeah,
join.
late morning. So send me an email. Send me an email
All
for
right.
that one. If it's 10 p.m. Eastern your time, it's mid to
Cool,
late,
Kelly. I'll check it out.
mid to early afternoon mine. So, okay. So again, love you all. Thank you, Jay, for joining us.
Nice, Shelby.
And
Thank you. That's
have a
awesome.
great meal and blessings to all of you and all your families.
Yes,
Okay.
many blessings to all
Bye-bye,
you guys.
everyone. Love you all.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. See you guys tomorrow.